Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. I'm a professional astrologer. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. Click that little letter I in the corner of this video and the drop down card will bring you right to my website. So today I want to talk about the month of August, and I'll do this for each of the zodiac signs. But as a preference, I want you to take quick notes here and remember these things first, and then I'm going to get into each individual sign. Got quite a few things going on in August. I've got at least 20 things to talk about. But a couple of the main things that are going on that are very, very important is this whole month we still have Venus in her retrograde motion in the sign of Leo. And with Venus retrograde, this is that time period where we're reevaluating our values, we're reevaluating some love relationships and partnerships, and we really can be even working on our own self-esteem and our own values and the things that we value just personally about ourselves, because that Venus energy does represent very personal energy. All right, so keep that in mind when I talk about Venus throughout the specifics of each of these videos. And I also want to mention that in the first couple weeks, the first week's actually pretty much close to the first 10 days of August, we have quite a few planets at the final 1 or 2 degrees of each of their respective zodiac signs, and mainly it's Saturn at 28 Scorpio, Venus and Jupiter are both at the 28 and 29th degree of Leo. And when we have these energies, when planets are at the end of the zodiac signs, it creates a sense of urgency. So up until I talk about August 11th, before then, Venus and Saturn and Jupiter transits are all going to have a feeling of urgency around them. So just remember that, and let me get to the details of what's going on now. Okay? All right, Virgo, this is take 3, just for you. Figures, huh? All about being detail-oriented, because there's a lot going on for you guys this month. There is for everybody, of course, but there's a few shifts at the end of the month into Virgo. So let's start off with August 1st, August 2nd. Saturn is stationary and direct in the sign of Scorpio at 28 degrees of Scorpio. And that means, again, like I mentioned a minute ago, there is a sense of urgency that's going on with this. And so that goes on in your solar third house. So what's been going on for the last couple of years for you with Saturn and Scorpio in that sector, it's about over, of course. So if there's any last minute details, you're gonna pay attention to it. But what's been going on is you've been trying to redefine how you're going to communicate with the world and how you're communicating. All right, so the energy of that could definitely be interesting for you, and you're very different at communicating than you were a couple of years back. So that's what we get with that Saturn in Scorpio, changing and transforming how you communicate to the world and your local environment. On August 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, there's a combination of things happening, and they're all making a 90-degree angle to this Saturn in Scorpio. And so what we have is we have Mercury in Leo, Venus retrograde in Leo, and Jupiter in Leo. So Venus and Jupiter are conjunct on the 4th, and that represents abundance, and it represents as well, where we may have overspent, and it also represents love and passion, or where we have given too much and don't have enough coming back. And it's bringing all of these things to our attention. Mercury is involved with this as well, so it's all about that communication piece. And so communicating what you need, what you want in your money situation, what you value in your relationships. All of those things make a 90-degree angle to Saturn. What that means is that you are looking at shifting and changing and really redefining what the foundation of all those things are. Okay? And again, it doesn't mean that if your finances are fine, then this is not going to be a financial shift for you. Or if your relationships are fine, or it's not going to be a situation for you there either. It doesn't have to be all. It could be all or nothing, or it could be one or two of those things, or both, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I hope you know what I'm saying. So there's a shift going on here to pay attention to what you're passionate about, but also not to be so frivolous with your time or frivolous with your money or frivolous with your love. That's what it's telling you. Value you. Very, very important. And as a Virgo, I know you'll pay attention to these things. Now, let's move on. August 8th, we have Mars moving into the sign of Leo. Again, that will be in the solar 12th house for you. So with Mars moving into Leo and other planets moving out, we've got planets activating both ends of Leo. So, we're getting all passionate and excited about some new things with Mars and Leo now. But while it's in that solar 12th house, the thing that you can be passionate, the thing that is activated for the next 7 weeks is your spiritual practices, the things you believe, dream time. It might be difficult to sleep with this transit going through here. It doesn't mean you're not going to sleep for 7 weeks. It just means your mind will be very, very active. If you need to be creative, and then do certain things that will help you to calm down at the end of the night. You're going to need a little help with that for those 7 weeks that Mars is transiting through your 12th house. If you're born with it, like I am, you don't sleep well hardly ever. Okay? It's the way it is. It's just something you're used to after all these years. It's nothing new. When you get a good night's sleep, it's a treat. So, August 11th, I'm going to move on to that. Jupiter moves into your sign, the sign of Virgo, and shifts into the first house. That helps you to become more public. People get to see you more. You're much more aware. There's a lot of people have Virgo rising, so this would be a fantastic time period for you if you need to be in the public eye or you want to be in the public eye, especially if you're trying to promote yourself or promote a business or promote something that you do, whether it's, so your boss sees you and gives you a raise, any of those things. This is a great year for you to do that. But the exception is Jupiter is about expansion in the sign of Virgo. Virgo is about paying attention to the details. Jupiter is not happy in that sign. Like I've mentioned in the others videos, it's like putting on a pair of jeans just after they've come out of the dryer and they're a bit tight. It's going to take a little while for them to stretch out so they feel comfy again. This is what will take for us to get used to Jupiter in the sign of Virgo. Take a little while, but once you do, you're really going to be able to expand out into the world, especially because it's going on in your first house. That first house represents like the face, the door, what we allow the world to see in us. August 14th, right in the middle of the month, we do have the new moon in Leo. Again, that's going to be in your 12th house. It makes a conjunction to Venus that's retrograde in that area as well. I'm going to tell you more about that in a separate video. All right, when I do the new moon video, it'll be posted about a week before. And come check out the channel for that. Just hit favorites, or subscribe. You'll know when it's up. It'll be sometime a week before because I'll be away camping until the 7th. I think it's the 7th of August, so it'll be close to the 14th. I'm sorry, can't do it any sooner than that. But all that new moon's going to happen in the 12th house, so that will be very psychological place for the new moon. Things that we don't typically get to see, get to come up for you. So pay attention to the details of that next video and add to it that it's all about things that are under the surface that have to come up, and that's for you with Virgo rising, okay? On the 19th, we have Venus making a trine aspect to Uranus, and that's the 12th to the 8th houses, and those are areas of the chart as well that represent, it's water areas, and even though these are fire signs that these planets are in, so there's a lot going on under the surface as well here. So things going on under the surface. This is a great opportunity for you to get into things that are more metaphysical, more occult things. Not negative occult, just occult things. Things that are just not typical religion. Great opportunity for you to find what it is that you value in those fields. On the 23rd, the sun moves into the sign of Virgo, and when the sun moves into Virgo, that again moves into your first house. The sun will make a conjunction to Jupiter in Virgo as on the 26th. So those 3 days, in that 3-day time period, it's all about a new discovery and rediscovering who you are. So this is when we'll start to get will start to get comfortable with Jupiter in that first house, Jupiter in Virgo. So you'll be able to pay attention to the details on the grandest of scales. On the 29th, we do have the full moon at 6 degrees of Pisces. That's in your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. Again, I will do another video for that full moon forecast when we get closer to that. But in the meantime, the Sun on the 31st is in the opposition to Neptune. And Neptune is in the same location within a degree or two of this full moon in that partnership part of the chart. So in a nutshell, you've got something going on in your relationships and your partnerships. All that first house activities is what you're presenting to the world and what it is you need, the I am of who we are. Is all the stuff's being activated with all the Virgo transits that are happening from the middle of the month on. In the meantime, Neptune is over there in that relationship sector kind of fogging everything up. So for a little while here, at the very end of August, you might be able to actually clear the air a little bit when it comes to what's going on in a relationship, what you need, what your partner needs. All right, and you might even run in, if you're not in a relationship, you might even start one then, but it will be started under false pretenses, so it's probably best not to start anything at that point in time, especially because Venus is still retrograde. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. Come watch the new moon and full moon forecast when we get closer to that. Come to my website, online classes, private sessions through phone and Skype. Thank you for watching. Please share, please subscribe, and I will catch you on the flip side. Thank you. Blessed be. And namaste.